Angle in the first. Watch out. Look at this.
Upton pops it up. Left side, Elvis Anderson's backpedaling. He is under it. He puts it away. The Texas Rangers have won a postseason series.
The Texas Rangers are American League champions.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live, coming at you Wednesday night, January 7th. What are we, about a month away here from pitchers and catchers? Are we under 40 days? Shoot, I saw the countdown the other day. Got excited, man. Now that the Cowboys season is over with, ready for a little Rangers baseball, man. It's going to be fun diving into it the next month, and you can only hope that the offseason starts heating up. I mean, at least for Texas. I know there's been some other teams making moves, but you still got Kyle Tucker unsigned, JT Realmuto unsigned, Framber Valdez unsigned. You've still got all these guys unsigned, man. We're like a month away from pitchers and catchers reporting. I've seen a lot. I think people are starting to get a little frustrated. I've seen a lot of, they need a deadline on this, man. They need to have some kind of consequence for getting dragged out, for contracts getting dragged out this long. Maybe they'll hash it out in the new CBA, which will be after this season, after the 2026 season. Looks like all signs pointing to a strike. Maybe that's something they can work out. The offseason is frustrating for me as a baseball fan. If you've been a longtime listener of the show, you know this very well. You know where I stand on this. I wish that MLB did something to make this offseason more exciting, more intriguing to the casual fan. Of course, the diehards are always going to be invested. You, me, we're always going to be invested in this. I want to see MLB find a way to just drum up more intrigue with this offseason. It's too long, takes too long to get started. It feels like you're poking a dying piece of wood on a fire, man. I really, really would like to see more action here in the next few weeks. Hopefully it doesn't drag into February, but it might. It might. Oh, shoot. All right. Let me tell you what I know. I have been scouring as many different articles, websites, social media posts. There's not a whole lot going on right now in Rangers world. You guys know we posted about Luis Arraez. We posted about some of the different pitching options that are out there. Ranger Suarez, still unsigned, by the way. Zach Gallen. I saw a Zach Gallen comment in the TikTok post, the TikTok comments, the chat. I think that Gallen is definitely a guy that the Rangers probably have their eye on. However, I will say this with Zach Gallen. You look at the advanced stats last year for Zach, it was not a great year. I don't think there's a whole lot of bad luck arguments with Zach Gallen. I'm a little bit leery of a guy like that. I would rather us go a different direction there. We've talked about Chris Bassett here on the show, pitched for the Blue Jays for many years. That's not an ace per se, but that is a guy that can eat up some innings for you. I think you've already got a pretty solid top three, wouldn't you agree? You've got DeGrom, you've got Evo, you've got Leiter. I'd like to see them still go out and get somebody in one of those top or higher tiers, I'll say. I'd be extremely overjoyed with the Ranger Suarez signing, but look, that's obviously coming with a fair chunk of change getting laid down on the table. A lot of reports say 23, 24, maybe 25 million a year for Ranger. I just don't know if that's possible. I really don't know if that is a realistic outcome here. I would like to stay hopeful maybe the Rangers all along have just kind of been fooling us and we're going to see them start spending. I definitely would love if every narrative going into this offseason was just a show, just CY leveraging a little bit. I'd love to see something like that, but I don't know if it's going to happen. I do not know if it's going to happen. We'll see. Time will tell. Luis Arraez is a guy that I would really like to see the Rangers sign. I'm really surprised it actually it gets me on a soapbox when I see people start whining and complaining about really quality free agents that are out there, especially in comparison to what the Rangers have. So like I posted a video about Luis Arraez a couple of weeks ago, and a number of people were like, yeah, absolutely. And then there were obviously another side totally turning their nose up to the guy because his defense isn't awesome. And, you know, he doesn't hit homers. I'm like, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but the entire philosophy of this team, everything that you've heard coming out of Arlington is the philosophy shifting. The team wants to move away from power, and they want to move toward bat-to-ball skills, contact, putting the ball in play. And I don't know who does that better than Luis Arraez. Dude struck out 21 times in 2025. 21! That feels like a glitch in the Matrix. Only 21 times? Some dudes do that in 2 weeks. I'm pretty sure if we went back and looked, Jonah Heim and Adolis Garcia probably each did that in a 2-week span at some point in 2025. 21 strikeouts the entire season? You got to be kidding me. I would love to see a guy like Luis Arraez in Arlington. I think you can get him for under $10 million a year. The number appears to be going down, down, down. On Luis Arraez, it started at 2 years, $24 million. So obviously for my non-math people, $12 million a year. Everything I have heard and seen online is that deal might be south of $10 million at this point. I really don't know why you wouldn't be willing to do something like that. Why wouldn't you want to upgrade the lineup, get a guy that doesn't strike out, puts the ball in play, 3-time batting title champion? It's a no-brainer to me. Does he play great defense? No. But the Rangers have so many betting rebounds on the team right now. I mean, you look at the projected lineups. The Rangers 4 through 9 hole. Question marks. Question marks. That doesn't mean we're hating on these guys. That doesn't mean that I don't think any of these guys can have good seasons. But let's be real. 4 through 9 in the lineup, there's questions. Why wouldn't you want to add a guy that at least helps answer a little bit of those doubts going into the season? I would love to see Luis Arraez signs 2-year deal with the Rangers come across my screen up at the top, man. I would love it. Trae Young trade. I heard he wanted to go to Washington. I didn't see the trade, Mike. All I heard was Washington was like a preferred destination. Let me see what else. Hayden need to get a grip and bring Bregman or Kyle Tucker. Simple as that. I do think that I would absolutely love Bregman. I know that that's an unpopular opinion. Alex Bregman obviously playing for the enemy for many, many years of his career. I would love to see Alex Bregman come in. I mean, he is a competitive guy. He's a leader. And he's really, really good at baseball. I'd be a big fan of Bregman coming in. And I know some Rangers fans are probably going to turn their nose up at that. It's like, do you want to win or not? Do you want to win or not? I don't understand at this point anybody that's getting too picky about free agents. Like, seriously, I would be good with any number of hitters coming in. I like some of the guys that we have a lot, and you guys have heard me be vocal about many of those dudes, but there are guys that I'm concerned about. And like I said, going into the 2025 season, I'd like to see the Rangers go out and get some premium insurance. Right? Don't go into 2026 with all of these parlays on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different guys bouncing back. No parlays. Let's go ahead and let's get some sure shots in the building. And I know some people get really up in their feelings, like I'm being too negative about the players we have. I love a lot of the players that we have. It's nothing against them. And what's so ironic to me about all this talk when fans go back and forth about who to acquire, who not to acquire, you don't think this clubhouse, you don't think the Rangers clubhouse wants to see ownership go out and get talent? That's one thing that I always go back and forth with whenever somebody thinks I'm being too negative when I say we need to bring in somebody like Luis Arraez into the lineup to make sure that if somebody's slumping from last year, we don't go into the same tailspin. Oh, we're good. You know, Josh Smith, Josh Young, they're going to bounce back, man. Why are you being so negative? You're missing it. Everybody in that clubhouse, I guarantee, would not mind seeing the Rangers going out and bringing in a big piece. Yeah, maybe the guy who's going to see less playing time as a result might get a little butthurt. Everybody else is going to be pumped. You think that this team is going to be pissed off if they go out and get Kyle Tucker? You think anybody in the Rangers organization is going to be pissed off? Maybe Evan Carter, but he's too nice for that. I don't even think Evan Carter would be pissed off about Kyle Tucker coming in. Like, I just don't understand the logic in being so good with what the Rangers have done so far this offseason. I think most people, objectively speaking, and look, it's all around social media. I just read an article, Rangers are the losers of the offseason so far. Like, objective parties are saying right now that the Rangers have not done hardly anything in comparison to the AL West rivals. I know this has been a long intro, and I'm going to get into all your comments and questions in a second, but the Rangers need to do something this month. I love the guys they have on the roster currently. I know that some people are going to see this as too negative. Hate, it's not. And if the guys in the clubhouse are being honest, if they get a notification up at the top of their phone screen, Kyle Tucker signs multi-year deal with Texas, think any of them are going to be upset? Come on now. All right. Appreciate y'all. Let's keep things rolling. Luis Arraez, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Pat, I'm with you. I mean, look, it'd feel a little wrong at first, but you know what? Winning solves a lot of problems. I'll just say that. I will just say that. Brian, what's good, man? What's good? I would love to see more fans adopt this mentality. The comment is, can't be too picky. Can't be too picky with how the lineup was last year. That is exactly what I'm trying to say. Luis Arraez, his defense. What are we talking about? Like, we're acting like, Josh Smith, OAA was off the charts. I like Josh Smith a lot. The OAA was super low. Outs above average, by the way, for any of my non-baseball nerds. Right? The numbers for some of the guys we have aren't incredible defensively. I think some Rangers fans forget that Marcus Semien really led the charge defensively for Texas. Dude won the Gold Glove. Corey Seager was right behind him. Some people, I don't think quite realize Corey Seager, one of the best defenders in all of baseball. In fact, dude only played 102 games and was top 5 in defensive WAR last year. I would make a really, really strong argument that a lot of the Rangers' defensive prowess came from those two players. Wyatt Langford was up there as well. And then, of course, you had Adolis Garcia out there in right field too. I don't think that there is anything wrong with getting a guy like Arraez who cares if the defense is a little subpar. You improve the lineup, and we don't have to watch 4-2 baseball games every single night. Davis doesn't want to spend. I have said many times, and I know that this is an unpopular opinion with some Rangers fans, I cannot blame Davis for not wanting to spend. And I would just encourage you, see an alternate perspective here, because a lot of what we see right now online surrounding the Rangers is Ray Davis, Ray Davis, Ray Davis, Ray Davis. The Rangers wasted $35 million last year. A lot of money on 2 players that did not play very much. And I know wasted is a really strong word. The Rangers spent $35 million on Jock Peterson and Tyler Mahle last year. Does that sound like good stewardship? Does that sound like good spending? Defend it all you want. How would anybody have known Jock Peterson wasn't going to pan out? How did anybody know Tyler Mahle was going to be lights out for 2 months and then really not play the rest of the year? Like $35 million between those 2 players. It's a lot of money. You could go get a superstar for $35 million a year. So before you just trash Ray Davis, consider the fact that money has not been well spent in Arlington. How can you deny this? This isn't subjective. I do think there are a number of moves you have to look at with the front office with a raised eyebrow. Pat is bringing up one that I absolutely was going to talk about next. Ray Davis is looking at a front office right now that wasted 3 top prospects on Merrill Kelly. Like, I'm just saying, can you really blame Ray Davis? He's watching gaffe after gaffe. And I think CY is a fair general manager. I don't think he's necessarily elite. And I think there is a very strong argument that John Daniels should get a lion's share of the credit for the roster that was built in 2023. I don't think that's a hot take at all, by the way. We can get into that another day if needed. I think CY is a fair front office guy. I don't think he sucks. I don't think he's awful. But I don't think that he's hit home run after home run. Nobody is going to sit back and say the Merrill Kelly deal was a ball out of the park, man. We lost 3 of our top 15 prospects. And all 3 of those guys are now almost top 10 prospects. 2 of them are top 10 prospects in the Diamondbacks organization. Mitch Bratt and Cole Drake are both top 10 prospects in Arizona. And David Hageman's a top 15 prospect. I just don't understand how Ray Davis gets the scapegoated blame here. And the front office just totally gets off scot-free, at least with a lot of Rangers fans that I come into contact with. There are definitely some that see my side and have seen what I see. Pat, you're one of them, brother. Love you. Thanks for tuning in. But how do you get on Ray Davis for not spending when the front office that's beneath him really hasn't made awesome moves over the past 2 seasons? Yeah. Kelly goes back to Arizona. Ultimate slap in the face. Like, I mean, I know that Arizona probably had that in their mind. In fact, Merrill Kelly actually came out and said, like, yeah, dude, like, I'm not putting words in his mouth. I'm paraphrasing for y'all. Merrill Kelly actually came out and said, like, yeah, we all kind of thought this would be a chance. Yeah, we all kind of thought there was a good chance that this was going to happen. I came out with the video after the Merrill Kelly trade, and I basically said, if you don't win a World Series, or if you don't re-sign Merrill Kelly, it is one of the worst trades I've ever seen. I said, if you can win a World Series, or if you can re-sign him to a good deal, I don't really love 2 years, $40 million. I think it's a little bit of an overpay for Merrill. No disrespect to him. I think $40 million for 2 years is a little bit of an overpay for Merrill Kelly. I don't think I would have liked the Rangers to have done that deal, if I'm being real. But to not re-sign him and to not even make the playoffs while you give up 3 of your top prospects, is that good stewardship? We're talking about money spent, $35 million last year, Jock Peterson, Tyler Mahle, 3 top prospects essentially wasted. So money side, but also your farm capital. I can't blame Ray Davis for being a little trigger shy. And I really wish more Rangers fans would start waking up to that, because it's frustrating watching the ownership, Ray Davis, take all the blame while there's been some very questionable moves in the front office. I got to get back to comments. I've been getting on the soapbox today, man. Hobie Milner, my dog, man. I'm going to miss Hobie. The Cubs literally just decided to steal the whole Rangers bullpen, didn't they? CY definitely, I think, does get the lion's share, Pat. Davis did hire him to make good baseball decisions. And you know what? 2023, CY was looking pretty dang good. But you know what? I said it earlier. John Daniels should have gotten a hell of a lot more credit for that 2023 World Series. John Daniels drafted Evan Carter. John Daniels drafted Josh Young. John Daniels very instrumental signing Corey Seager, signing Marcus Semien, Adolis Garcia. Adolis Garcia was John Daniels. That was John Daniels. I don't understand how John Daniels did not get more love for the 23 World Series. And I think you're looking at the last 2 years with Chris Young. And I like CY, former Ranger. Dude had some great years in the bigs. No hate to the guy. But objectively speaking, the outside baseball world, I think, looks in at Texas. I don't think there's a lot of people singing front office praises right now. The shed payroll method, I do think, this is a really good point here. Brian, I appreciate you, man. You know that. Brian's comment, and I'm going to get to TikTok here in a second, y'all. You've been patient, and I appreciate you guys. Brian's comment is, the shed payroll mentality was a result of 2025 failures. You wasted money on Jock Peterson, and hopefully Jock comes around. I would love to see Jock come around, but you wasted money on Jock Peterson as much as Tyler Mahle absolutely crushed it the first half of 2025. The dude started 19 games in 2 years, and we paid him $22 million. He made $22 million, and he started 19 games. That's a nice paycheck every start, is it not? You make it over $1 million every start, baby. Hello. Tyler Mahle and Jock Peterson were a combined $35 million hit against the roster last year. How would you, I think I brought this up a couple weeks ago, how would you, as the guy funding all this, look at that and be like, yeah, I want to double down on that, baby. Like, I don't know. If I have a financial advisor that just cost me $35 million in the stock market, bro's probably fired. Like, why would you want to go and triple, double, triple, quadruple down on more bad investments with the dude who just cost you $35 million? All right. We keep on going. Is Bellinger going to get overpaid? Probably. All right. TikTok, what do you got for me? If I missed your comment, you got to repost it. I want to see this. The new people might think I'm ducking. You guys know I don't duck anything. We try to get to every comment. Sometimes I get to yapping too much. Ray, appreciate you, man. Thank you for the comments. Totally get what you're saying with the understanding why he's trigger shy. Yep. Ray, I actually think Davis does want to win. I think if Ray Davis didn't want to win, and this is the other comment that I get a lot, that he doesn't care about winning. He just cares about his money. The Rangers still have a top 10 payroll in baseball. Like, if you're Ray Davis, if you really didn't want to win and you just cared about your money. And by the way, Ray, I'm so glad you brought this up, man, because I was actually thinking about this before the show and I didn't want to forget it. And you just reminded me, brother. Why wouldn't Ray Davis instruct CY, sell off everybody, get rid of the DeGrom contract, get rid of the Nathan Eovaldi contract, trade Corey Seager? Your three biggest contracts, your three biggest liabilities. If Ray Davis really didn't care about winning and only cared about his money, why wouldn't he gut this team of every significant contract that it has? If I'm Ray Davis and all I care about is money, Corey Seager is getting dealt for prospects. Jacob deGrom is getting dealt for prospects. Nathan Eovaldi is getting traded for prospects. I don't know why you would keep any of those guys if Ray Davis is genuinely just focused on his pocketbook. Explain it. What would the rationale be there? I would submit there's really not a good one that anybody can come up with. There were multiple people willing to take that Seager contract. Multiple people. Freeman over Smith at second and Young at first base, Walcott at third. Dude, you're speaking my language right now. Now, here's one thing that I would probably say with Josh Young. I think Josh Young, we got to see what he does with the bat. We have to see what he does with the bat. You guys know, full disclosure, I am a huge Cody Freeman fan. Huge Cody Freeman fan. In fact, I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm going to show off some of my baseball cards to y'all. Just got the Cody Freeman. I know, that's bad lighting. It's a little refraction there. Cody Freeman, autograph, rookie card. Maybe you guys can see that. I'm a big Cody Freeman guy. Huge Cody Freeman guy. So I would love to see him play. I do think Josh Smith is probably going to get the opportunity. I would love to see Cody Freeman light it on fire in Surprise and just come out of spring training, leaving Skip Schumacher no choice. I would love to see that happen. I don't know what the spring is going to hold, but that would make me very happy. I love everything that dude brings, both into the clubhouse with positive, good vibes, energy, but also the way he plays the game, man. I would love to see that guy get a starting role. Absolutely. All right, here we go. Justin, appreciate the likes, man. Good to see you, brother. Alorki Hernandez rise. There you go. Because he might be scared what happened to Artie Moreno happens to him. Doesn't want to lose on more money. Again, Ray Davis, if you don't care about winning, you sell Corey Seager. You sell DeGrom. You sell Evo. It doesn't make sense to keep any of those contracts. And Ray Davis, 1,000%, has the ability to tell Chris Young, CY, get rid of those guys. Get rid of those contracts. He has that authority, and he's not pulling the trigger on that because I think the guy actually does want to win, but I think he is trying to limit the amount of swings and misses the front office makes. And the best way you can do that is to not give them more money to play with. Hate it or love it. And Ultra, this is the frustrating thing. Good to see you, brother. You got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and it sucks. Because you'd almost rather have one polar opposite or the other, right? You'd almost rather see the Rangers just do this full-on rebuild, or you'd rather see them go all in than be in the middle. And I do appreciate that. So to me, this reads very clearly like a guy who's competitive, who doesn't want to be the laughingstock of baseball in a rebuild, talking about Ray Davis right now. But at the end of the day, doesn't want to get burned again by a front office that has not pushed all the right buttons over the last 2 seasons. All right. We keep going TikTok. Hayes or Pham? I mean, absolutely Hayes. I'm with you on that. Gary, good to see you, brother. I'm absolutely on Austin Hayes. I'd like to see Miguel Andujar. Miguel Andujar nearly had 1,000 OPS against left-handed pitching. And right now, if you're not going to get a rise, go get a bat that can actually hit left-handed pitching. They need somebody. It was bad last year. The Rangers had one of the worst OPSs against left-handed starters in 2025. And I would love to see them go get a guy that can make them much, much better in that department. And Miguel Andujar, I think, would be really good. Rob Refsnyder was another name I was interested in. Seattle goes out, gets him on a $6 million deal. Look, it is hard when you're looking at Houston going out and signing their big name. course, we're talking about, Japanese phenom. And I just really think it's frustrating for Texas, for Rangers fans. You're looking at teams around the West making moves, and there's the Rangers. It's painful. Went to a Rangers game last May. Which one was it? Good for you. Who are your top 5 Rangers to watch and surprise this year? Whew. Well, there's going to be obviously a lot of new faces. They have signed some new people to minor league deals, but with invites to spring training. I think a lot of people are going to be curious about Abimelec Ortiz. I think he's going to be a big name to watch. I do think, Cody Freeman, what's his spring going to be like? I would like to see a couple of the other young pitchers. You've got, I know, some guys on the 40-man pitching-wise. Can we see Teodo take the next step? Teodo was the big name coming out of spring training last year. I would just like to see some of these young guys, some of these guys that played on the AAA roster last year, take the next step. Think about Alejandro Osuna, another guy I really love, right behind Cody Freeman, man. I'd love to see Alex Osuna take the next step and really make Skip Schumacher make some tough decisions. Carter Baumler, he's another guy, new acquisition. I'm excited to see what he could bring to the table. I'm just looking up the 40-man right now. I think a lot of eyes are going to be on Kumar Rocker. I think a lot of eyes are going to be on Kumar and what he's going to do this year. We know that Jack Leiter and Kumar seem to be following a little bit of similar trajectories. You've seen really, really good flashes of brilliance, of dominance on the mound. And then there's times where it looks a little lost. And that's how Jack was in some of the first couple of years that he was in the bigs. And he finally kind of started figuring it out halfway through to the end of last year. I mean, I know he got off to a pretty decent start at the beginning of the 2025 season too. I think Kumar Rocker is going to be a big name to watch. You look at the rotation, if they don't go out and get another starting pitcher, you almost kind of have to rely on Kumar Rocker, do you not? If they don't go out and get another starting pitcher, it's almost got to be Kumar. I mean, let's just talk about it here. You've got DeGrom, you've got Evo, you've got Latz, you've got Leiter. This is no particular order, by the way. Who's filling that 5th spot? I feel like it's got to be Rocker. It's definitely, I think, got to be him. And so the comparison, by the way, Pat, appreciate you bringing this up. The comparison that I made is, I saw a couple of articles come out about Rocker, and by the way, I love so much of the Rangers content that gets put out there. I know sometimes when somebody disagrees, online, you automatically think, oh yeah, dude must just be a hater, right? You know what? I've always said on this show, part of the fun of being a fan is going back and forth with other fans. Like, Pat's one of my boys, and we go back and forth about tons of stuff, man. It's all love, but it's part of the fun, man. Just disagreeing, and you know what? Shooting the breeze, man. I love it. So it's hard online, but going back to the original point, some people posted, I don't know if it was Prospect Times, I don't know who it was, and they were like, this is a make or break year. I think it was Nolan Wrighton, actually. Prospect Times, I'm not trying to throw you guys under the bus. I love y'all. And I love Nolan Wrighton too. But I think Nolan Wrighton, somebody from there came out and said, kind of a do or die year for Kumar Rocker. I don't understand that mentality at all. It's a do or die year for Kumar Rocker with how much they let Jack Leiter just go and go and go and go despite the struggles. Something that people don't realize. So Jack Leiter was drafted in 2021, right? Let's just do the timeline here. Leiter was drafted in 21. I think we forget Jack Leiter in 2023 and in 2024 had to go to the developmental league. 2024 is when he made his debut. Before he debuted, dude was in Arizona. And he was in Arizona on the developmental list in 2023, 2 years after being drafted. Kumar was drafted in 2022. He had a major injury, Tommy John, missed 2022 and 2023, made his debut in late 2024. Dude's barely pitched for us, man. I mean, seriously, he had 2024 and 2025. He's basically pitched for 2 years in the organization, and it's a do or die? What? It's a do or die? It's not a do or die. Kumar Rocker has got a long runway. And you know what I don't understand? Kumar Rocker's controllable until the 2030s. Why on earth would you want to put any kind of ticking time bomb on Kumar Rocker's career as a Ranger? Bro is controllable until the early 2030s. What are we doing? You give Kumar a long runway and you let him work through whatever he's working through. And you know what I always say, and this is in my bio, man, this channel is for people that actually watch the freaking games. And if you've actually watched the freaking games that Kumar Rocker has pitched in, you would know this dude has filthy stuff. Filthy. Now, does he need to work on some of the intangibles? Yes. Was the body language bad at times? Yes. Was the effort lacking at times? Yes. Not getting over to cover first base soon enough and little things that need to get fixed. But don't try and tell me that Kumar Rocker is not a very talented young pitcher, man, that he doesn't have the pedigree. I would love to see Kumar Rocker. Mason, what's good, brother? Love your stuff, man. Love the content. Thanks for tuning in. I would love to see this man go out, like Mason is saying here, and dominate the spring. That would make all of us feel so much better. Because right now you are looking at some question marks in the rotation, right? You're looking at a few guys at the back end that have some promise. We all, I think, really like Jacob Latz. I think we like Jack Leiter. I know I do. I like Kumar Rocker. I don't think we can pretend that any of those guys are sure shots. Jack improved last year, and I do think he takes the next step this year. But do I expect Jack to have a sub-3 ERA in 2026? Could happen, but I would say probably not likely. Low threes, mid to low threes, I think that would be my bet for Jack. I think he's going to be a solid arm for us, but you've got some question marks. Kumar Rocker would make you feel a lot better. Hey, Ultra, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the kind words. Look, I'm a consumer of lots of good Rangers content, and I follow pretty much everybody there is out there, and I take away little things from everybody, but I do appreciate your kindness, man. Thanks for the support. We keep going. Thoughts on Josh Young? Where's Cody Bradford? Okay, I got to catch up on y'all. Thoughts on Cody Bradford? He's going to be back in the summer. Cody Bradford is recovering. Had the UCL, had I think it was the brace surgery, not like the full-on Tommy John, if I'm not mistaken. And so Cody Bradford is most likely going to be back dog days of summer. So look, Cody Bradford, that's one that a lot of people throw out there. You know, hey, what about Cody? What about Cody? I like Cody Bradford. I think one thing I will say about Cody that was a little discouraging, the home and away splits. Cody was really dominant at Globe Life Field. Then he would get on the road and he would really struggle. It wasn't just like a one-off thing, man. It was like a concerning, like huge differential. Maybe it was just a weird season for him on the road. But Cody Bradford, I think there's some question marks there. He's coming off of injury. Cody Bradford didn't pitch in 2025. And he didn't pitch the entire season in 2024. So we're talking about a guy that probably hasn't pitched in a couple of years. I don't think that we can throw all of our chips down on the table when it comes to Cody Bradford. I think cautious optimism, but that's the Cody update. Let's see. Josh Young. Look, big Josh Young fan. Texas boy. San Antonio. right? Then went to Texas Tech, drafted by the Rangers. What's not to like about his story? But Josh Young, a little bit of a tumultuous 2025, demoted. Some questions were thrown out there about his response to the demotion, how he handled it. There were some questions thrown out about Josh Young and was he actually buying into what the Rangers wanted him to do with his approach and with his swing? I think Josh has a lot to prove this year. Now, we were talking about do or die for Kumar Rocker, right? I do think this is a do or die year for Josh Young. By the way, I just got a notification. Mike Lorenzen signing a 1-year, $8 million deal with the Rockies. Mike Lorenzen, former Ranger, headed to the Rockies. There you go. Live updates here on the show, baby. Bats still suck. Yeah. It's so hard, man. I love following these guys, but the bats were not good last year. I think even the players would tell you that. Like, the bats were not as good as they needed to be. They really weren't. There's no other way around it. You got to call it like you see it sometimes. Rangers got to improve in the offense department. Abimelec Ortiz going to be somebody. Yep, Zach, we talked about him. It's great to see you, man. We talked about Ortiz. That's a guy I'm watching in spring training for sure. For sure. I don't think we're going to see Kim in Surprise Pat. I think he's probably a year or two down the road for getting that invite. Maybe if he has a really great year, and I think he's an A-ball. I forget if they had him play on the DSL teams or if he's an A-ball. Mason, if you're still hanging out, do you know? What level is Kim at right now? I feel like you've got a better lock on some of the prospect stuff than I do, man. In fact, by the way, I get a bunch of my prospect stuff from Mason. Great follow. If you guys don't follow Mason Hoven, I hope I'm saying that right, man. Mason Hoven on X. He's on YouTube as well right now, hanging out. Good follow. Good Rangers content. Wasn't Ortiz in spring training last year? I think he was. I wish the spring training stats were a little easier to keep up with. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't, because didn't Ortiz just get added to the 40-man? Maybe he was. Maybe he wasn't. I'm not sure. I definitely think, though, Ortiz is going to be a guy that a lot of people have their eye on. Another guy, though, some fans were kind of throwing out, well, we got Ortiz if Berger struggles or if Jock struggles. I don't really know if Ortiz is ready quite yet for the big show. I know he probably doesn't want to hear me say that if he's listening out there. I'm sure he feels like he is. He really has not had a ton of ABs at the AAA level. Sometimes you don't have to. You look at Wyatt Langford. Wyatt Langford didn't have a ton of ABs at the AAA level. Ortiz, if he has a hot spring, you never know. But again, these things are things I file away as interesting, but let's be real. Let's keep it in the realistic lane. I don't know how much you want to count on Ortiz to be the savior in your lineup. If you are using Ortiz in the first 2 months of the season, things aren't going well. There's no other way to put it. If you're using Abimelec Ortiz in May, things probably aren't going so well for you. Either that or he has become, Mike Trout rookie mode. Like, you know what I mean? Aaron Judge left-handed style. It's either one of those two. Nothing in between. Hey, you're welcome, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Love the work. All right, thoughts on Osuna? Both you guys. Look, Osuna, that's another one. I got Osuna in here somewhere, man. There's an Osuna rookie that I just picked up. 1 of 99, baby. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it. Oh, there you go. Little Osuna rookie, 1 of 99, baby. Look, Pat and a bunch of other guys in the Discord that I have for the Ride on Rangers channel, they've really gotten me into baseball cards, and I've started to do like a ton of research. So I got a couple of ones that weren't graded. I bought a couple of graded cards. It's been fun. Anyways, back to Osuna, though, on the field. I love what both Cody Freeman and Osuna brought up in the middle of the season, which was energy, life, a little swag. We need more of that. I feel like sometimes watching this team in 2025, you kind of felt like you were watching a bunch of robots. Like nobody really shows that much emotion. And that's always what they prided themselves on, right? Like we don't get too high, we don't get too low. I love guys like Freeman and Osuna getting freaking jacked when they hit a double in the gap. Man, I love that. Osuna, I love the swing. He's got some good pop. He's great out in the field. That's another thing I love about Alejandro. Alex Osuna is talented out there running down baseballs. And I think that those two guys, Freeman and Osuna, by the way, really good friends, the two of them are. I would love to see them take the next step. And look, Osuna has a little bit of a tougher path than Cody Freeman does. Cody Freeman can play pretty much anywhere, man. Cody was a catcher. Cody played some, shortstop, third base. He can play second. They'll probably throw him at first. Osuna, a little bit more of an outfield guy. And right now you've got Carter, who's a lefty and probably playing over Osuna at this point. You've got Wyatt Langford and you've got Nimmo. It's going to be tough for Alex to bust through and really get work in the outfield. So as much as we love Osuna and as much as I love Osuna, I think that Alejandro is going to have a tough time breaking into the lineup unless somebody gets hurt, and nobody wants to see that. But that feels like the only way Alejandro Osuna is actually going to be getting playing time this year. When are you going to bench Brandon Nimmo? You're not. When are you going to bench Wyatt Langford? You're not. When are you going to bench Evan Carter? Maybe against lefties, but they didn't play Osuna against lefties either. It's a little bit of a conundrum. I don't want to put out into the air that guys like Alejandro might be trade bait, but it could happen. I don't want to see it happen, but Brandon Nimmo is going to be around for several years. So is Langford. So is Carter. I do think that if you're an outfielder in the farm system right now, you're a little bit expendable. Maybe a lot expendable. I would like to see them keep Osuna around. I really would. Really would. But Zach makes a good point. There's a lot of left-handed outfield bats right now. A lot of lefty outfield bats. And that's a big reason, I think, why they let go of Dustin Harris. Dustin Harris, lefty outfield bat. They've got too many. Osuna definitely reminds me a lot of Odor, too. In fact, I was just thinking about that comp the other day. Somebody posted Odor and some of his, funny moments, the Bautista moment. But then he had a couple of other ones too, like with Jason Kipnis. Maybe some of y'all saw that. Odor was going into second base. They were playing the Guardians, and Jason Kipnis was playing second. And Kip kind of slowly backs away from Odor. This was post Bautista punch. Hilarious. Odor, absolutely. I see the connection with Osuna 100%. I see it. Foscue. I don't think he's getting a shot this year, Pat. You, I think, have seen probably, unless there's a major injury, I don't think Foscue has a place on the team. I think that Cody Freeman probably took that away from him. Cody able to play multiple positions just like Justin. Justin had the infamous 0 for whatever streak. It was bad. And Justin Foscue, obviously a really, really high draft pick for the Rangers several years ago. It's too bad that it hasn't worked out better. I just think that at this point, we're in a situation where he just doesn't have a path. There's so many guys that play multiple positions, utility players. I don't think Foscue has a path right now. I think he possibly could make a little noise if he does well in spring training. But you could say that for everybody, right? You could say that for everybody. We'll see. I could see Osuna being trade bait. Yeah, I think that could be the case. I don't really want to go there because I love Alejandro Osuna, but I just worry. There's a lot of left-handed bats. Jack, we're just talking about a little bit of everything, man. We're talking about a little bit of everything. Mace, the only thing about it, brother, that's like the one thing on the channel that I've monetized. We're talking about my Discord. So it's just like, I think it's a $2.99 per month subscription. So I know that some people are like, what? It's the only thing that I've really monetized on the channel. So if you become a member on YouTube or if you become a subscriber on TikTok, I get you access to that Discord. So that's the only thing, man. And if you want to be a part of that, by the way, you just become a subscriber on TikTok, $2.99 a month, or on YouTube, $2.99 a month as well. Gets you that access into the Discord. And it's been a great community. I love it. I know $2.99 is $2.99. If it's not for you, I totally understand. But think about it. A good way for you to support the show if you like what we're doing. You guys are great, though, with what you got going on right now. We got a lot of people hanging out, a lot of great comments, and that's worth $2.99 a month to me either way. Hey, let me see what else I missed. As long as Carter stays healthy, no worries, but that's a big if. Yeah. Carter, I like Evan Carter a lot. Great guy. I've always said with Evan, man, you're 22, 23 years old, and you're dealing with back injuries. Bro, you're 22 or 23 and you got back problems. That's not good. Like, I got back problems and I'm in my 30s, man. Like, Evan Carter's 22, 23, and he's dealing with them already. It's tough. It's hard to shake those back issues. It really is. Really is. We will see what happens in 2026. If Evan Carter can give you $120, over the moon with that result. 120 games out of Evan Carter would be fantastic. Shoot, even triple digits. Even triple digits. Hey, Maze, appreciate you, brother. Thank you for becoming a member, man. Thank you so much. Very generous of you. Cannot wait to get you in the Discord. And after the show, I think we can probably DM on X. YouTube's weird. They don't do any direct messaging or anything. So we'll DM on X and I'll get you all the information. There's like I don't know if the link is still good, but we'll figure it out, brother. We'll get you in right after the show, all right? Thank you so much, man. Made my night. Appreciate you. What else? Did I miss anything? We're winding down a little bit on TikTok. Dodgers going to repeat 3 times. 3 in a row. They're going to do what the Yankees did, huh? Man, I don't know about that. 3 in a row. The Dodgers could do it. I do not even want to think about the Dodgers doing a 3-peat, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. It's possible. It is possible. I really would like for it not to happen, though. Love to see some new blood in the World Series this year. Look, I haven't done a deep dive on the National League, but I surely hope there is somebody that is game to knock them off. They're a really good team. When you got the best player in baseball, Shohei Ohtani, you're game for the World Series just about every year. Mason, appreciate the kind words, man. And likewise, love your content as well, brother. Keep it up. Carter needs to put on weight bad. I'm 24, 6'3", 170, about the same build. My neck and back hurt all the time. I'm telling you, if you're 23 and you've got back issues, look, Jack, at least you're not playing Major League Baseball for a living. When you're a Major League Baseball player and you've got back issues, yeah, that doesn't really go great together, does it? No. So I think Evan has got to prove that he can stay healthy. And Evan actually, we forget, he had a bit of bad luck last year, right? He got hit by a pitch and his season was over. And it is what it is. So who knows what would have happened had Evan Carter not gotten hit by that pitch, how his season would have ended. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to remember this right. Don't mind me, by the way. I got to pop a cough drop here. Some of you guys might have been able to hear, man, my voice and my nose are killing me. But you know what? We got to stay on that grind. The work never stops here at Right on Rangers. Not much is going to hold us down. All right, let me see, though. Evan Carter, last like 7 games. I felt like Evan ended really well and was like onto something and then got hurt. Maybe I'm totally making that up. Okay, so his last 7 games. All right, this is good. Last 7 games for Evan before the injury. 273 average, 816 OPS. I was right on that. Evan Carter actually was kind of on to something, and then he got hit by the pitch. Just sucks. Just sucks. But I think at this point, you're hoping another offseason under his belt. You're hoping that maybe that time, because of the hit by pitch, actually helped the back a little bit. Look, you guys know I try to keep things positive. There's the glass half full for you, man. I was just thinking about that, Pat, man. My allergies would go nuts in Texas when I lived there. For all of y'all that don't know, I lived in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for a long time. Did like late elementary school, middle school, high school. Lived there off and on throughout my college years too. But live out in Vegas now. And in Vegas, dry, desert, but it's like gotten really cold here all of a sudden. Whenever the weather changes, this is what happens. Got an EC 2025 Sunday home jersey. There you go. Jack, that is nice, brother. That is nice. I want to get a powder blue jersey. I have a white home Seager jersey. I really want to get a powder blue in my collection. That is what I am going for. Little power blue. I'm thinking about going to the WBC Miami, right? Is that where it is? Let me know. I thought we looked this up on the show the other week. Isn't most of the WBC games in Florida? I thought there was one other location. Is it like Miami and Tampa or something like that? I don't know. Fill in the blank for me. Defense was great for Evan Carter. In fact, I've been a pretty big proponent. I'd like to see Evan Carter continue to play center field. I know some people want to move Wyatt Langford to center field. I think Wyatt Langford is the more valuable player, especially with the bat. So I would rather protect Wyatt Langford and keep having him play a corner outfield spot than max him out and have him play center field as well. I know some people kind of make the exact same argument for Evan Carter. Not necessarily that Evan is the more valuable player, but hey, save Evan's body a little bit, have him play a corner outfield spot. I just would hate to see them try and save Evan Carter's body, but in the process wear down arguably your best bat of the future. I mean, Corey Seager, God bless him, he can't play baseball forever. So Evan Carter, while a top prospect for Texas at one point, I think most people are in agreement. Wyatt Langford appears to have a little bit of a higher ceiling with the bat. I'd like to see them continue to protect Wyatt Langford, who's also dealt with some injuries in his career. Keep Wyatt in a corner spot, maybe have him DH occasionally. Let Evan Carter be your outfield difference maker guy who can maybe provide you a little bit of pop, good bat-to-ball skills at the bottom of the lineup. Who knows what happens with Evan Carter if he takes off this year. Maybe he goes back to the top of the order. I think he'll probably start at the bottom, and the Rangers will wait and see, hold their breath, and cross their fingers on him. We keep going. Miami and Houston. Freaking Houston. Freaking Houston, man. Pat, I don't have a whole lot of pull quite yet, but I would love to see the red jerseys come back. I would love to see the red jerseys come back. Steven, what's good, man? Thanks for the comment. Appreciate you, man. I would love to see the Reds make a return. I mean, my favorite hat. Where the heck is my red hat? Oh, it's back behind here. I love my Rangers red hats. Probably my favorite hat, and I love the red jerseys. I'd be all in favor of the red coming back. 100% in favor. Houston, man. How did they get a WBC game? Come on. Come on. This is what I want to know, man. I'm so glad you brought this up, brother. By the way, I appreciate all the comments. Thank you. When are they announcing City Connects? Like, this is another thing. If I was running Rangers social media, I would be hyping the hell out of this. I would be hyping this up like crazy. Where's the countdown? Where's the countdown, man? Like, you haven't made any big signings. At least make the City Connects feel like a big deal. Come on now. When are they announcing City Connects? Jeez, that's what I want to know. Spooks, like, what is going on here? I've thought about this often because you guys know I'm a big fan of the City Connects. I like the Peagle. I got the Peagle bobblehead sitting somewhere around here. Love the Peagle stuff. Sad it's going away. Like, if you guys aren't going to make any big moves this offseason, could you at least drum up a little bit of excitement for the City Connect release? The red jersey coming back would be fire. That would be fire. That would be straight fire. I would love to see something in red. I mean, look, the white and the navy blue, okay. I thought that it was sharp. I liked it. Liked the Peagle. Thought it was creative. They did the story behind it. I think the Rangers had some of the best City Connects out there. In a world where many City Connects were very bland and boring, I thought the Rangers actually tried to do something different. And I applaud them for that. I hope that they stay as innovative with this next batch of City Connects. Red would be great. Please. Please. We keep on going. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. We're at the hour mark. We're going to start wrapping things up here. Almost 10 p.m. Texas time. Almost 8 o'clock my time out here. We'll probably wrap up about 8 o'clock here in about 7 or 8 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to do some research while we're talking. I got a couple other things to share, but I'm going to look right now. City Connects, Texas Rangers, announcement. Maybe I'm just missing something. Maybe I am just missing something here. Nope. Nope. A new Texas Rangers City Connect uniform inspired by the DFW Metroplex culture and the original Lawmen is planned for a 2026 release. Okay. So, I don't know who this is from. Is this Rangers Nation? Okay. Rangers Nation, this is 12 weeks ago. Rangers Nation says, actually, this was just a post. Rangers Nation was making their own City Connects inspired by like the Texas Rangers, the original Lawmen. I don't think there's anything official. Nothing official yet. Anyways, I think we need a big move. I hope so. Do I think Jock has a comeback year this year? Let me put it to you this way. I don't think it can get worse for Jock Peterson. So I think just by the nature of how bad it was, like, how could you not say Jock Peterson's probably going to have a little bit of a better year? Honestly, if Jock can get that OPS 700 to 750, I think you'll call that a win. So, yeah, I do think he bounces back. Do I think he's going to hit 800 plus? Probably not. But could I see 7 to 750? Yeah. I think that is where we should probably keep the expectations. All right, brother. Love you, man. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, we'll definitely be wrapping things up here in a second. Appreciate you guys. Look at images. Yeah, I don't think that they're announced quite yet. I think some people have made up some like mock ideas, but I don't think anybody has leaked anything or released anything official. Jock will suck again. Marley, look, like I said, I'm trying to be positive, but I have my doubts. I don't think Jock crushes it this year, but I think just by the nature of how bad 2025 was, like the only direction to go feels up. Jock will have a turnaround year, Spooks. I hope you're right. I hope you guys are right. All right, y'all. We'll see next week, Wednesday, January 14th. I am hopeful, this is actually some big news, but I am hopeful that we are going to have a special guest on the show next week, barring some kind of extenuating circumstance. I've been going back and forth with Cody Freeman, of course, our Cody Freeman of the Texas Rangers, and I think we're going to be able to get Cody on the pod. I'm really excited about this. You guys know I've been a big fan of his ever since. Really, he started breaking into the AA and AAA levels. He's been fun to watch coming up through the minors. Had I think for a first year, pretty solid first year. came into a tough situation, and I think he really made the most of his opportunities. Is there room for improvement? Sure. But I think he's got a bright future, and he's got a good head on his shoulders too. Hopefully we can get him on the pod next week. He said that he's open to it and should be free. So I'll give you more announcements about that. I don't know if we're going to be able to do our normal setup or not, but I'm going to have to work out a few things and would love to have you back. I think we're going to do like a 7:30 Texas time show. So there's that. Mark it on your calendar. Rangers signed Gray. No, I don't think so, Richard. I don't think so. I think they're moving on from John. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and let's call it a night. Thank you so much for everybody hanging out. Thanks for dealing with my raspy voice, stuffy nose, man. It's that time of the year. But like I said, the work never stops here at Right on Rangers. And we appreciate all the support that you give the channel. Hope you guys have a great rest of the week. We'll have a lot of content out for you over the next 7 days. It's going to be great. But we'll be back here next Wednesday, ready to bring you another great off-season show. And as I always say, to end every one of our podcasts, God bless and go Rangers.